It is Monday. Monday is my day one. Monday is the start of my week of training. We're gonna go through a week of workouts. So today, on my day one, I have, well, you can't see it, but I've got my screen in front of me. I'm gonna write my program. So I have a logbook. I write all of my training in my logbook. As you can see, day one is a squat and bench day for me. Day one is a primary squat and bench day for me, and then we have some other accessories. So that is what's on offer for today. Even though I'm doing like a week's worth of like training, technically this is my second week, so week 2. Last week, you know, as numbers work, it was week 1. Nothing exciting really happened, and to be fair, most of the time nothing exciting does happen in week 1 of training. I would argue and say if something exciting does happen in week 1 of training, you've probably overshot. I'm done with my session. Squats were okay. I'll probably reflect on it a bit later. Bench was okay. Honestly, that is the common theme with things. It's always just okay. But I'm currently in the changing room. Because, well, I'm in a closed part of the changing room because you're not actually allowed to film in here. So I'm doing a naughty, but there's nowhere else I can talk in this gym. There's nowhere else. But yeah, grand scheme of things, everything was okay. It was okay. Anyway, I'm about to buy some food and then have my post-workout. Time to go. So it's been a few hours since I finished my session actually. It's more like the end of the day now, but it's been a few hours since I did my session. And yeah, squats, they weren't bad, don't get me wrong. Like I said, there's nothing special about it. Sorry, I'm walking the dog at the same time. There's nothing really special about the session. And to be fair, like I said, when it comes to like the start of each block, nothing exciting really happens for me, or at least the way that I structure them. It's more about like performance across the block, and towards the end of the block that matters more. But man, I felt like kind of sicky, kind of like I could just feel my food in my stomach sitting there like it wasn't fully digested, and that doesn't always end well. When it comes to my squats, it's not always going to feel like spot on, like they're not always going to feel great, and that's okay. Like, it's fine, the work is still being done, I'm still going through the motions. I think I'm just hyper aware of when it feels off. After squats, obviously had some bench. I've been working with percentage based loads because I oftentimes like pussy out from loading certain numbers, not because I'm like scared of them, but I just think like, oh, it's going to be an overshoot, so I end up like massively undershooting. So I've prescribed loads, or at least prescribed percentages, prescribed loads, whatever you want to call it, and it was pretty easy, to be fair. Very standard session, very week 2 business going on, nothing exciting. So I guess that just takes us on to the next session. It's the next day. It's Tuesday. And Tuesday is my day 2. Now, previously, I used to be a Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday girly. Now I'm not. Now I'm a Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday girly, which feels a bit weird because training on a Thursday is just a bit odd, although I have found Tuesdays and Thursdays in the gym are a lot quieter. So I think a lot of people have that, or at least on a Monday. Everyone trains on a Monday, right? Or at least I think most people do. Today, because I have my sheet right in front of me, today we have some deadlifts. We have some sumo deadlifts. We have some 2 count pause bench. We have some single leg press, which I'm not a fan of, but go off, and then some seated row. Some seated rows. I've been programming myself for a good long while, and I've come to find as the years have gone on, I don't need, or at least I say I don't need as many accessories. I absolutely do, but time and place, right? When I first started powerlifting, which was years ago now, I started off just doing it like very basic SBD work. And then I went into the realm of variations. And then I went into the realm of adding in more accessories because both my sisters are bodybuilders, right? So I'd see them doing their accessories and I was like, what if I just do a little bit of that? What if I work as hard as them? Because there came a point where my sisters were stronger than me. It was a great driving force to actually make me work hard, I'm not gonna lie. And then I was very accessory heavy for a good few years, but I wouldn't change how I approached things, because I really do think the fact that my programming all those years ago had a very strong hypertrophy focus means that I'm in a good position now. But today is my day 2. Today is my day 2. We have deadlifts, I should say, as a primary deadlift. We have bench. Oh, look, spoiler alert, I'm going to bench in every single session. So we have some bench and then we have some single leg press, followed by some rows. So that is my session. Should be fun.
on the bait, we'll be rolling shit. On the bait, we'll be
So just like yesterday, I am walking the dog, walking Mr. Jeeves, deadlifts. Let's have a little chat about deadlifts. They actually felt pretty good. I've got a new variation in my block right now. I say a new variation, it's not a new variation, it's new because I haven't done it in a hot minute, but I swapped out my 2 count pauses for a tempo to knee dead this block. I just feel like sometimes it brings about like better awareness. Me personally, I did tempo to knees last week and looks like it's having a good impact on my primary session. But yeah, no, overall it was actually good. It was I say actually good, I don't know why I sound surprised. It was a good session. So deadlifts were good. Deadlifts felt well grooved, felt strong, although it did really hurt my hand, kind of like tore the skin away. That's kind of part and parcel of like deadlift, isn't it? Like if it's going to happen, it's going to happen. And bench felt good. Like I'm pretty sure I hit a PB. I think 87.5 was a new 2 count pause 3 rep max, and then obviously chipped it up to 90. But if I'm being honest, even though the 90 kind of looks like an RP8, probably felt a little bit more. So I'll call it an 8.5. I'm watching Jeeves to make sure he doesn't eat something. But yeah, I'll call it an 8.5. But still happy overall. And obviously didn't film my accessories, my single leg press, fun stuff, or my seated cable rows. But like overall, job done. Happy. Good morning. Today is Thursday. My day 3, I haven't actually written it down yet. My day 3, I have pause squats. So pause squats and bench. And then we have some single arm pull downs and bird dogs. Oh, I actually do also have feet up bench. I wasn't lying when I said I was going to bench every day. It just so happens that I've got triples on pause squats as well. This is the week of triples. I have my pause squats at RP8, which should be fun, right? Should be fun. Maybe I can push that a little bit harder. Obviously my day 1, which was my primary, I had triples at like an RP 6.5, so this I can push a little bit more. Bench, nothing really exciting. Then feet up bench. In this bench session, I'm doing percentage-based load. So previously, back on my day one, I mentioned how I was putting in some percentage-based loads because I end up like pulling back way too much and I need to push myself a little bit more. So 2 of my days out of the 4, I have RPE based training, and then the other 2 is percentage based training, just so I can make sure that I'm actually getting enough stimulus, because otherwise I pull back too much. So yeah, that is what we're doing. I actually really like this day, not that I really like pause squats, because boy am I a fiend for not pausing my squat long enough. It's just in the moment of doing it, it feels like you're pausing it for long enough, and then you watch it back and you're like, what was that? But yeah, so I have pause squats, bench, feet up bench, single arm pull down, and bird dogs. So should be fun, should be good. Just got to the car and I have a bit of a flat tire. So gotta pump that up with air first and then I'll go to the gym. Yeah, pause squats weren't feeling too good. Weren't feeling too hot. To be honest, like I kind of said it, like sometimes my squats hit, sometimes they don't. There's nothing that's actually bad about how they look. They just felt bad. Although I was expecting to be able to push a little bit harder, or at least load up a little bit more. And I was like, oh, why does it feel so bad? Well, my period is due in 3 days, so that might have something to do with it. In all reality, like, still got them done to a good standard. Look, one thing I will give myself is I actually held the 2 count pause, so there's that. Bench, like I said, kind of boring. Percentage-based work, feet up work was pretty damn good, although having said that, I didn't actually get to film my heaviest set. I went up to like 75 kilos, but I still think that was a bit of an undershoot for an RP8, but is what it is what it is. And then obviously had my accessories. I actually have been doing single arm pull downs for the past like 3 or 4 blocks. I just love them. When I can, I'll set them up with a bench like I did and like kind of use that for some extra stability, but in other cases I'll just do it on a lat pull down with like a single hand attachment sort of situation. Overall wasn't a bad session, but I feel like I say that every day, but that's kind of the point. Like, very rarely do I have actually bad sessions, like very rarely. I know I was saying, oh, my squats felt off, but it wasn't enough for me to say it was bad. When you look at a session and you're like, oh, this was a bad session, you kind of got to ask yourself, like, why was it actually a bad session? Was it because it didn't meet your expectations? Then you need to adjust your expectations, right? Or did you actually like make stupid decisions in your session? Like, were you loading the bar way too heavy than needed? Or were you just like mentally somewhere else? There's loads of different reasons as to why it could be a quote unquote bad session or off session, but more often than none, it's really not that deep. Only one more training session left to go. It is day 4, it's Friday. I'm on my way to the gym already. Logbook is written. I've actually got quite a big bench session today, didn't realise it, but essentially I have tempo to knee deads. Fun. We have triples on tempo to knee deads, so it really is the week of triples. I've got a touch and go bench. I need to reach a set of 12 at RP10. So that is what I'll be doing. Then I have close grip incline and some rows. So that is my session. Should be fun. I'm kind of excited to see what I'm going to hit for 12 reps to a 10. I haven't hit 12s in a good long time. Like, I haven't had that number in my programming for a hot minute. So yeah, I sound like I have no idea what session I'm walking into when I do it. Well, the way I write out my blocks is I'll write out the entirety of my block, but I'm very good at just kind of putting it to the back of my mind after I've written it. So it kind of feels like a new sort of thing every time I look at a session, even though I wrote it, if you get what I'm saying. I don't know, but anyway, we're almost here at the gym, and we will get started probably in the next, like, I'm gonna say 15 minutes. I don't know, I'm kind of stuck in traffic right now, but should be good. Yeah. while I put my stuff away, should we talk about bench? Should we talk about a lovely fail on bench? I knew I had 80 in me, but I have a bit of a struggle with some of the benches here. Like, I came into having more and more shoulder issues because they're quite like narrow. Like they're narrower than a competition bench. But essentially, there's one bench here that doesn't fuck up my shoulders because it's as wide as a competition bench and it's as high as a competition bench. So I usually wait to use that. This time around I didn't because someone else was using it and I was like, you know what? I don't have time to be waiting. I need to get this session done. So I was like, you know what? Fuck it. Like I should just use whatever bench is available to me. Let's not wait for ages. Because it was ages. Yeah. I loaded the number that I knew needed to be loaded, but I knew the bench was going to be a variable that I should have taken into account. It is what it is. I am done. That is a week's worth of training. Done and dusted. Sorry, I'm looking down to make sure Jeeves doesn't eat anything again, but that's a week of training. So should we talk about today's session? So to be fair, tempo to knee deads didn't feel bad. They actually felt pretty good, but they never really feel bad. It's just hard work. But tempo to knees went okay. Obviously the hard part is just like forcing yourself to slow down when you want to accelerate. But bench, I just know if I was in a position to be able to wait for that bench just a little bit longer, I probably would have been able to hit 80 for 12, but it just wasn't on the cards today. You win some, you lose some. Sometimes maybe good, sometimes maybe shit. So today was a maybe shit. No, it wasn't that bad. Come on, I just failed on one rep. But yeah, overall, still not bad. Just a wee bit frustrated, but I wanted to find an RP 10. Hey, I found my 10. It just wasn't with 12 reps. But that is my week of training. That's my week's worth of training. And obviously finishing the week's worth of training with a walk with Mr. Jeeves. That's essentially what my training is like all the time. Like, it's not always special. It's not always like hitting brand new 1 rep maxes at like an RPE 6. Like, it's just not the case. And it like training should, I think at least, look pretty monotonous. And I don't mean that in a negative way. I mean, like, you should be doing a lot of the same things day in and day out. You should be doing a lot of the same protocols day in and day out, because that's kind of how you get strong. But that is my week's worth of training. So if you enjoyed, let me know. Share any thoughts below. And yeah, that's it. Bye.